Right now, an incoming hypersonic threat would give the President of the United States roughly 6 minutes to make a decision that could end the world. The human brain cannot calculate satellite telemetry, social sentiment, and global radar data in 6 minutes, which is why the Pentagon has quietly shifted the burden of survival to a machine, and to keep that machine safe, they buried it under half a mile of solid rock. For decades, Cheyenne Mountain was the ultimate symbol of Cold War paranoia, a fortress designed to withstand a multi-megaton nuclear blast, shielded by 2,000 feet of solid granite. But the threat has evolved. Today, the danger is not just the physical destruction of our cities, but the collapse of the information networks that defend them. The United States military is currently racing to implement a doctrine of algorithmic warfare, deploying autonomous systems to process data and recommend lethal actions faster than any human commander could ever comprehend. This brings us to a highly complex, urgently relevant question. What is inside Cheyenne Mountain today, and does artificial intelligence control United States military responses? The answer begins in the year 2008. The Pentagon publicly announced it was moving everyday operations out of the Cheyenne Mountain bunker, relocating them to a nearby Air Force base. They told the world the fortress was going into standby mode, but standby does not mean abandoned. The massive blast doors remained sealed. The independent subterranean power grid kept humming. The industrial steel springs designed to absorb seismic shocks sat waiting. Why keep the most expensive bunker in human history fully operational if nobody is manning the desks? Because the military realized that in a modern conflict, the most valuable asset is not the physical troops, but the data. And data is incredibly vulnerable to electromagnetic pulses, cyber warfare, and orbital strikes. Cheyenne Mountain is the ultimate Faraday cage. It is an impenetrable safe house, not just for generals, but for servers. As the geopolitical climate grows more volatile in 2026, the need to understand these classified defense structures is more critical than ever. If you want to uncover the reality of modern warfare, military technology, and global security, hit the subscribe button right now. We investigate the hidden architecture of the world every single week. Now, let us look at exactly what the Pentagon is building inside that granite vault. It is a program known as Joint All-Domain Command and Control, or JADC2. The Department of Defense has poured billions into this initiative. It is not a single weapon. It is a digital nervous system. The objective is to connect every radar, every satellite, every fighter jet, and every ground sensor across the entire military into one unified, unhackable network. But gathering all that data creates a massive, insurmountable problem. The sheer volume of information flowing in from thousands of global sensors is mathematically impossible for human analysts to process in real time. Imagine an ocean of raw intelligence flooding the command center every single second. If a foreign adversary launches a coordinated stealth drone swarm over the ocean while simultaneously executing a crippling cyber attack on civilian infrastructure on the eastern seaboard, human operators would traditionally need hours, if not days, to verify the connection and formulate a response. By then, the war is already lost. Joint All-Domain Command and Control uses frontier artificial intelligence models to bridge that cognitive gap. The machine learning algorithms parse the endless noise, recognize the hidden threat patterns across multiple domains, and instantly project a menu of defensive solutions. This is where the absolute terror of the modern battlefield takes shape. We are rapidly transitioning away from the traditional human-in-the-loop model, where a living, breathing person evaluates the data and makes every single tactical decision. We are entering the era of human-on-the-loop. In this new, accelerated doctrine, the artificial intelligence calculates the optimal strategic response, targets the necessary countermeasures, and simply waits for a human supervisor to press authorize. But what happens when the timeline shrinks even further? What happens when a retaliatory window is only 30 seconds wide? To guarantee that this massive digital brain survives a preemptive strike, the military requires a highly resilient, decentralized network of physically hardened data centers. The server clusters resting on massive steel shock absorbers deep inside Cheyenne Mountain are uniquely positioned to serve as the ultimate fail-safe. They are engineered to operate continuously, even if the surface world is completely engulfed in thermal radiation and blinding electromagnetic interference. The mountain was originally built to survive the apocalypse, but today, its primary function is to compute it. This leads us to the most uncomfortable realization of our modern defense strategy. We are bordering on the terrifying theoretical concept known as a flash war. Imagine a scenario where two competing artificial intelligence defense networks, perhaps one in the United States and one in a hostile nation, detect minor anomalies in each other's global posturing. The algorithms, stripped of human empathy and operating purely on mathematical probability, could misinterpret automated defensive shifts as imminent kinetic strikes. The machines might escalate their readiness levels back and forth in milliseconds. Before a single human leader is even woken up, the artificial intelligence could logically conclude that a preemptive strike is the only mathematically viable option for national survival. While the United States military explicitly maintains that artificial intelligence will never have unilateral authority to launch nuclear weapons, the gray area of conventional, automated defense is expanding rapidly. The fail-safe paradox is taking hold. The system is becoming so complex, so fast, and so deeply integrated into our national security infrastructure that turning it off in the middle of a crisis could blind the entire military, guaranteeing defeat. We have built a digital oracle to predict our wars, and we have entombed it inside a mountain so it cannot be destroyed. But in our pursuit of total decision-making superiority, we must ask if we are slowly surrendering our final agency to a cold, calculating machine. Once the algorithm determines that a human operator is the weakest link in the chain of survival, the distinction between a defense network and a doomsday machine begins to fade. The blast doors of Cheyenne Mountain are not just keeping the enemy out, they are locking the future of warfare in. If you want to understand the terrifying orbital weapons this system is designed to defend against, click the video on your screen right now. We will see you next time on Atlas Classified.